The evil queen does not listen to him. She orders him to be thrown into the dungeon, and then she orders her soldiers to find Snow White in the forest. Then in the next scene we see Snow White. She was still with those short people, and all those short people were making fun of a short person. Then that short person goes out sad, and Snow White does not like this. Then Snow White follows him, and explains to him that problems are not solved by being sad like this. We should face every difficulty bravely. Then Snow White also teaches him to whistle. When both of them come back home, everything was scattered. All those short people were fighting with each other because no one wanted to do the housework. Then Snow White explains to them that the work which you consider a burden will not be a burden for you, if all of you do this work together, and you will also like doing this work. Snow White understands well after seeing them that they all do not hate each other. Actually, these people are not able to make each other understand. Then Snow White explains to them that how they can find a solution to all the problems by telling each other their thoughts. And in this way, a big change takes place in the lives of these short people. Then they all work together and live happily with each other. Then Snow White tells them about her childhood, when there was love and happiness all around in her kingdom, and when both her parents were alive. While talking, she remembers that the soldier had told me that the evil queen has hidden many secrets about your father. They all were assuming that the king died in the war, but maybe the king was still alive. Then Snow White tells Bono that we can find the king with the help of robbers in the forest. The leader of those robbers had told me that he used to serve the king earlier. Then it is time for the short people's duty. That's why they all went to their duty. And Snow White also sets out in search of the robbers. Snow White was wandering here and there in the forest, and suddenly someone pulled her behind the tree. It was Jonathan, who saved her life from the soldiers, who were sent by the evil queen to catch Snow White. Snow White, she says to Jonathan, I think the king is still alive. Jonathan said to her, this may be true, because I have also heard that the king has been captured in the kingdom with which he went to war, but I don't know where he is. They were still talking. Then Jonathan's other companions also arrived there. They welcome Snow White with great respect. Before they can make a plan to search for the king, suddenly many soldiers arrived there. They had found Snow White. Then Jonathan and his other companions decide to save Snow White without any hesitation. Then a war starts between the soldiers and the robbers, and Jonathan asks Snow White to run away from outside. But the soldiers were in very large numbers, while the robbers were in less numbers. That's why Snow White gets worried for them. Then Snow White thinks of a plan, and she releases all the horses of the soldiers, due to which there was a commotion among them, and the robbers got an opportunity to run away from there. After this, Snow White climbs the high mountains and screams loudly. This draws the attention of all the soldiers towards Snow White. When the soldiers reached the high mountain, they saw that Snow White was not there, but it was a trap, which Snow White had set for the soldiers had put a knife in the head of the king, and now Snow White was helping the robbers. They all run away and reach a dense forest. Finally, they got rid of the soldiers. Jonathan praises Snow White's bravery, and he assures her that we will always be loyal to the king, because in his time we were very comfortable in everything. Then a soldier chasing them reaches there, where they were hiding, and he sees Snow White. That soldier aims an arrow at Snow White. Jonathan had seen the soldier before he could attack. While saving Snow White, that arrow hits Jonathan. Then Jonathan's other companions catch that soldier. Then Snow White decides that she will take Jonathan to the short people, because one of the short people was a doctor. Snow White thinks that the short person is a doctor, but after going to the short people, she finds out that he is not a doctor, only his name is Doctor. His Koshik falls on the rocks, and knowing that Jonathan was extracting minerals, one of his companions, he started getting angry at her, and due to this, an argument started between them, interrupting their argument. Snow White stays, what are you all doing? The evil queen's purpose is to create conflict between us, and we should separate. We cannot consider each other selfish if we help each other. Then all the problems will be solved. After listening to Snow White's words, everyone becomes silent for some time. After this, the doctor says, I'm not really a doctor, but I will try my best to save Jonathan's life. The doctor went inside his house with Jonathan. After struggling for a long time, when that short person came out, there was sadness on his face. Everyone was looking at him with curious eyes. Jonathan, before the doctor could say a single word, comes out safely from behind him. Everyone takes a sigh of relief after seeing him. But Jonathan had lost a lot of his strength. Then they all start celebrating this happiness. Then as soon as the sun rises, as it was about to happen, Jonathan and all his friends decide before sunrise that they will all go to the forest in the morning, so that this secret place remains a secret, and where Snow White can stay and escape from the evil queen. Before leaving, Jonathan tells Snow White, "I am going for a few days. I will not come back soon. But I promise that when I come back, we will go to the kingdom in search of the king." Then Snow White hands him her chain, which was gifted to Snow White by her father. While giving the chain, Snow White says that this chain will remind you to come back. Then when Jonathan goes to the forest, he gets caught in a trap. Before he could do anything, the evil queen's soldiers catch him and bring him to the palace. Then the evil queen asks Jonathan, "Tell me, where is Snow White?" Jonathan tried to pretend by saying, "I don't know who Snow White is," but Snow White's chain around his neck revealed the truth. Pulling that chain, the evil queen threw Jonathan in the cellar, and she herself starts doing magic with the magic potion. And this is where the real face of this evil queen is revealed, that she is actually a witch. After this, she drank that magic potion. As soon as she drank that potion, her condition started deteriorating, and then she turned into an old witch. This was her real form. She had transformed herself into a beautiful woman with magic. Then she picks up an apple. The evil queen casts a spell on that apple. With that magic, that apple turns into a poisonous apple, so that Snow White falls into a deep sleep after eating this apple. Then in the second scene, we see that Jonathan is trying to free himself from the cellar. Here he also finds that soldier who told Snow White to go away from the palace. Then we see Snow White and the short people. All the short people go to their work, and Snow White was about to go in search of her father. But at that time, an old woman arrives there. Snow White could not recognize her, that this is the evil queen, and in fact she is also a witch. The old woman gives Snow White her chain, and says that Jonathan's life is in danger. Seeing her chain, Snow White feels that she should save Jonathan's life. Then when Snow White starts leaving from there, then suddenly that old woman stops her. The witch gives her an apple and asks her to eat the apple. The witch said, "This will keep your energy intact." And your father used to say, "Love conquers everything." Listening to her father's poignant words, Snow White became a victim of the witch's trap, and Snow White ate that apple. Then we see that all the animals and birds of the short people ran fast to inform the short people about Snow White's trouble. On the other hand, as soon as Snow White ate the apple, darkness started to cover her eyes. Snow White fell down due to dizziness. Then she asked the witch what was in it. Then the old woman spoke the same words which the evil queen used to speak again. As a result, Snow White came to know that this was the same evil queen who considered Snow White her arch-enemy. Then Snow White fell down unconscious. Then dark stormy clouds covered the kingdom. Then the evil witch turned into lightning and disappeared in the clouds. Then when all the short people and animals came near Snow White, they saw that Snow White had fallen. They thought that Snow White was dead, and now they could not do anything. They all laid her down at one place. In the next scene, we see the basement of the palace, where Jonathan and the soldier broke a wall of the basement. On the other side of this wall was a water path leading to the forest. The soldier encourages Jonathan, and he immediately runs towards the forest. He sees some animals there. He makes him aware of their chaos, that something is definitely wrong. As soon as he reaches near the house of the short people, he becomes distraught after seeing the immortal Snow White. He sits beside Snow White in grief, and kisses her. As soon as he kisses her, Snow White regains consciousness, and everyone is filled with joy. After regaining consciousness, Snow White tells Jonathan that all this is happening because of the evil queen. She is actually a witch. She had made a plan and sent my father to the war, and she herself ordered her people to kill the king. They were all discussing all these things. That just then a piece of ice falls on Snow White's hand. Seeing it, Snow White decides that now the right time has come. When I should take control of everything, I will have to fight with the evil queen and save my kingdom from her. I will have to give my kingdom the services it deserves. Love will spread all around the kingdom, and I will make their conditions better. Then as Snow White returns to her kingdom, seeing her, a ray of hope appears on the faces of the people of her kingdom, and they all chase Snow White and reach in front of the palace. Seeing the rebellious attitude of the people and Snow White, the evil queen herself comes to them holding a rose in one hand and a sword in the other hand. And then she addresses the people and says, "Look, only beauty and power are made for the throne." Then she lights the rose and blows on it, and says, "Look, only power is left to rule the throne." The evil queen provokes Snow White to fight, but Snow White, instead of fighting, starts reminding the soldiers of their good memories, when they all used to be very kind in the king's time, and they all used to take care of each other. Then their life was comfortable. Then Snow White says to them, "It is just a matter of time. When there was peace in the kingdom, and everyone was happy, there was justice for everyone. I only want to restore it to this kingdom." The soldiers of the evil queen, while disarming themselves, show that now they will stand with Snow White. The evil queen, seeing that all her power is being destroyed, starts attacking Snow White. But at this time, someone shoots an arrow and kills her. The mirror drops the knife from the mirror, and we are shown that it is Jonathan's short person friend who saved Snow White's life. Then all the other short people also come there. They all came to help Snow White and her people. Then the evil queen goes inside the palace in anger. She comes there was a magic mirror of hers. That magic mirror knew everything. The evil queen talks to the mirror and asks it, "Tell me, mirror, who is the most beautiful in this world?" The mirror says, "The most beautiful in this world is Snow White, and she will always be. Her beauty is not in her looks, but in her heart. She will rule the hearts of people because of her kindness and justice." Then the mirror says to the queen that your beauty never hides your heart. Your external beauty cannot do anything. The evil queen throws something on the mirror in anger and breaks it. The mirror breaks into countless pieces. As the magic mirror breaks, the body of the evil queen also breaks. Her body turns into black smoke and gets transferred to the magic mirror, and the evil queen gets trapped in that magic mirror for life. And we know that all the powers of this evil queen depended on this magic mirror. Then, after the end of the evil queen, Snow White takes over her throne. With the rule of Snow White, happiness spreads in the whole kingdom. And this captivating story ends here. Thank you, friends. If you liked this video, then subscribe to the channel Fox Story Explainer. You will find explainer videos of new movies and stories here. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel and also press the notification bell.